Hello and welcome. Today I'm in the tier 10 Soviet battleship at the Moskva, and this is a match on the PTS server, and I'm in a division with TheSneakySnake. As John Green would put it, the link is down below in the doobly-doo. So, this is a match on Tears of the Desert and its epicenter, and well, I joke about the Moskva being a battleship, but that's because she is a really good cruiser. TheSneakySnake is in a Des Moines, so we're two cruisers that are fairly strong. There are carriers in this game, and being two cruisers with very good anti-air, this means we should be fairly safe. The reason why people joke about the Moskva being a battleship is that she has 65,400 HP, and she can be in a match against ships like Amagi, which have 65,000 HP, so she does behave in many ways like a battleship compared to many of the cruisers. Anyways, I sailed towards the epicenter site. I actually really enjoy epicenter because I feel like it forces people to be closer together. There are planes incoming, and it seems the enemy carrier is actually air supremacy, which means that I might actually just defensive fire here. I'm not certain if it's a good idea, I guess. Maybe the carrier will come strike us. Yeah, whatever. I'll just defensive fire here. So, the reason why I didn't want to go closer is because we didn't know where the enemies are, and we only had 3 ships on this side, which is me in the Moskva, the Z-46, and a Des Moines. The enemy planes are getting absolutely murdered. I'm getting literally no kills though. I have 3 plane kills, and 2 full squadrons have already died, which means that the Des Moines probably stole all of them. Well, I guess he is named the Sneaky Snake, so was being quite sneaky with stealing those kills. And I'm not really gonna mention anything about me running around because that was all intentional. Yes, please believe me, that was intentional, please. Why are you looking at me like that? Have I ever lied to you guys? No, of course I haven't. Anyways, there are 4 destroyers on their team, 3 on ours. 1 is a Z-46 and 1 is a Benson, which means that we're not actually in a very good position in regards to destroyers because almost every other ship in this game is tier 10. The enemies do have an Udaloi, so I guess it's at least not all bad. So, we are actually quite ahead. For some reason the enemies just allowed us to cap the middle, which is something that you usually don't see early on in this game mode, and well, being a cruiser, I don't really want to go YOLO here, because if I go way too close, the battleships will delete me, regardless whether I'm a Moskva or not. It's better if I stay safe, more or less at least. It seems our carrier is actually intent on striking the enemy carrier, which I think is an incredibly dumb idea, because the enemy carrier is air supremacy, so killing it early, I guess it would help the carrier play the game more easily, but there's no way you're gonna kill it in one strike, and after that the air supremacy carrier is just going to, well, protect his ship, and you won't be able to do anything about it. So, the Kurfürst is coming along, so I'm switching to HE, and I'm gonna start firing at him. One thing I've noticed is that, also, priority target tells me that somebody has me selected with their guns. Anyways, the interesting thing about the Moskva is that you would think that her HE shells would be absolutely brutal like the ZA, but they really aren't. I mean, yes, you have less of them and all that stuff, but I think one of the reasons why the shells of the Moskva don't appear to be as powerful is that the shell arcs are incredible. Just look at this. These shells, like, they go like completely parallel. They're like railguns. And I think one of the things that happens is that you often don't hit the superstructure like you would with normal aim. Like, you're used to your shells going really high and then falling down, and then when you aim at, you know, like I just did, you would expect the shells to go up and then fall down, and, you know, a lot of them hit the superstructure, but I actually realized that when you aim like this with the Moskva, you end up really just hitting the hull quite often with many of your shells, which is why AP like this is incredibly powerful. Did you just see that? That was 7,000 damage from 13 kilometers, and most of them were overpens. This was like this is the kind of reason, like, these shell arcs just amazing, and the AP as a result is absolutely brutal. By the way, did you just see that was only 1500 damage? And I think one of the reasons why it was only 1500 damage was because there were 3 shell penetrations, but they probably did no damage because they hit like a secondary gun or something like that. Anyways, I'll continue shooting HE at him. I'll try getting some fires, but the main thing I want to do is, oh my god, 21,000 damage through my aft. I guess I should have shaken that aft some more. Okay, fire in the cut first. That's good. Hopefully it'll stick, at least for a while. And hopefully he doesn't get any similar salvos on me. Okay, so he's firing at me, so I start slowing down and turning. Because I want to, you know, fake out the enemy. And like you just saw, that completely worked. None of the shells hit. That was a really good maneuver. One that cruisers need to do more of. And because I am at 18 kilometers, honestly, if you're the battleship, this is like absolutely enraging against the Moskva. Because at this kind of range, actually hitting the Moskva properly is really difficult. And the Moskva is hitting you all the time because of the amazing shell arcs. Like, look at this, it's 18 kilometers away and it only takes 10 seconds for the shells to travel that far. Like, the battleship is gonna take just as long for their shells to get here, but the Moskva is still a cruiser, so he's fairly maneuverable. Like in a 1 against 1 at this kind of range against a battleship, I think the battleship is actually at a disadvantage. The problem is when multiple ships join in. Like, look at that, that Kutfirst essentially gave up on shooting me. He started shooting other targets. But again, the weakness of this kind of action as a cruiser is the fact that if you have more than one enemy shooting at you, you might be able to dodge shells from that one guy, but dodging shells from the second one, I don't know. I don't think that's really going to happen, at least not all that much. Like, that Hindenburg is firing at me, and I suspect that the Zao on the enemy team called Iowa, for some reason, is probably going to do the same. And if you couple in, you know, the Kurfürst firing at me, that might end up not doing so well for me. Because I really want to not die. Also, I have to remember that there is a DD ahead of me. RPF is probably pointing at the DD, although that might not be accurate. Yeah, I think it's the DD. Come on, Kurfürst, please die. Fire is not taking on the Kurfürst though. I might radar at some point, but considering where the Z-52 is, I think it's unlikely that radar would show anything. Because I'm pretty sure that RPF is actually pointing at the ZA at this current moment. Our Z-52 pushing out this... I guess because he smoked, must have been spotted by something. Because otherwise he would have stopped in that smoke and, you know, stayed still. So, a fight against the ZA, so I'm obviously switching the AP because you saw how brutal the AP was against the Kurfürst, so what's a flimsy cruiser gonna do? Although, to be honest, I just bounced 4 shells. Because she is turning away, I guess I have to switch back to Ichi. 4,000 damage is fairly good. Although I did hit 5 of the 6 shells. And RPF just switched positions, definitely pointing at the destroyer. So I could literally just radar here and I would 100% either spot the DD or... wait, I don't think that's a DD, I think that's Royal Navy Light Cruiser, which means I'm gonna turn and run. I am definitely not interested in this kind of a fight because they have Azao, Hindenburg, Kurfürst and Neptune or Minotaur, I think. And I only have 4,000 HP, so I'm gonna run as fast as I can. Unfortunately, I'm not the fastest ship on the seas, so it might take me quite a while. Luckily, my heal is fairly good and... well, this Kurfürst came back again, so time to roast him, I guess. Come on, HE shells, please. Yes, a fire, 2 fires even. That's pretty good. Yes, and he missed. Excellent. I'm not doing so well, Sneaky Snake, sorry. Not doing so well at all. I only have 4,700 HP left, and there are still 3 enemies shooting at me. I guess I'm out of range of the Royal Navy light cruiser. I need to dodge some shells, and I stopped firing, by the way, earlier because I wanted to disappear, which just happened. I am completely unspotted because I haven't fired my guns. 13.8 kilometer detection range, so nothing is within that kind of range for me. And as a result, I survived with 4,201 HP. The enemy team is ahead. We've lost 6 ships, they have lost 5. And we only have 1 DD left, they have 2. It's alright though, I'm gonna heal up in 20 seconds. I guess I will have to sit back at really long range at this point, because losing a ship is really bad. It's better if you have a ship that is very low HP and goes to the corner of the map instead of actually losing the ship. But of course, because the Moskva has really good range, I can utilize that range to fight from afar. Not to mention my heal is up right now, so I'm gonna use it and I'm gonna start firing at the Minotaur. Hopefully we'll be able to take care of it. The only worrying part is the fact that there is Hindenburg coming in, who is probably gonna start firing at me, but it's a cruiser, not a battleship, so he's probably not going to penetrate me through the aft. At least not without my permission. And I think that Minotaur is gone as well. That's very good. The Hindenburg just took a large hit. That's also good. I think the Minotaur is gonna use... I thought he was going to use smoke there, and that's why I had AP selected, so I could do my last salvo and hopefully citadel him, but fortunately somebody else took care of it. So, the Hindenburg has run aground, so time to switch to HE because she is not showing a broadside, and hopefully she will die in this salvo. Okay, the Montana took it. And now we are actually ahead. We have lost 7 ships, they have lost 8, I believe. Yes, we are 1 ship in the lead. We also have to remember that they have an air supremacy carrier, which means that their carrier probably is not going to do all that much because it's air supremacy. They only have 2 dive bomber squadrons, so that has some limited use. I guess you could actually drop on a Moskva fairly well if the Moskva doesn't have defensive fire and pretty brutal anti-air. Not to mention that I think our Des Moines that just died was fairly successful at dealing with many of the enemy's planes. Okay, so it's a 4 against 4. We are still ahead in points because we held the middle of the map for quite a while. And now it's a fight against the Zao. I think it's a Z-52 and one other cruiser. I believe in this current moment, or at this current moment, we are ahead. Switching to AP because the Zao was showing broadside. Unfortunately, she's turning now, so I'm not quite certain if it's a good idea. Yeah, I guess it's fine. Have to keep in mind that they have a DD, but it's probably not in the middle of the maps, or middle of the map, so I don't know if it's a good idea to use radar here. It might be, but I'm not certain. Maybe RPF is pointing at the Zao instead. Okay, no, the RPF was definitely pointing at the DD. So if I radar right now, I would spot the DD, I think. Which is why I'm gonna wait until my reload is up, and then I think I will have to radar, and oh my god, they have a full HP Moskva if you didn't notice earlier. Like completely full HP. And hello Z-52, hopefully you didn't torpedo me, and I hope you enjoy my shells, and I think I just led way too much. I did 1500 damage, but yeah, that was way too much lead, so next salvo. I'm turning towards him because I think he might have torpedoed me. And, well, the Montana took care of it, but I think I would have got 1 more shot off, so that would have been fine. But, oh my god, I have 7000 HP, the enemy Moskva has 48,000 HP, and we have lost our battleship. Yes, it's a 3 against 2, but that Moskva has a lot of HP. And you saw what Moskva with a lot of HP can do. Okay, come on. I guess our chance is that the Zao can go close and torpedo him. And that should put us in the lead. I'm gonna HE here because I want to get the fire running. So in case that, you know, we die or something, the fires will finish the Moskva off and then we should win the game. Otherwise the Moskva will be able to cap and that would be bad for us. I switched AP again, hoping for some citadel hits. I'm gonna keep doing it as long as she keeps aiming the way she is. And because it seems the Moskva has switched to the Zao as a target, I am gonna use my front guns as well. Okay, come on. Come on. Damn, this damage is disappointing. Okay, the Zao got the fire. This should be an... he shouldn't have damage control party for that fire, so... I think the Moskva, if we deal enough damage, that Moskva should die. Also, I think the Zao did not actually torpedo here. Because I don't see any torpedoes in the water, and oh my god, the Zao actually died, and the Moskva has 19,000 HP still left. I have 5,000. So I'm switching back to HE, hoping to get some more fires, and because the Moskva isn't showing a broadside, I have to do so. And every time he fires, I'm gonna turn away to try to angle as much as I can, because he seems to be firing on AP, so if I angle, the shells should bounce on the main belt, like right now. I'm taking many shells, but I'm surviving, which is good enough. And he is burning, so if I can deal some more damage, I think the Moskva should be gone. Okay, I have 1053 HP, but he is burning down, so if I get my front guns on him and fire, I think he's gonna die. Oh, excellent, goodbye. So I'm gonna slow and turn, you know, to just win that slight moment. Because, you know, if I had kept going full speed, maybe the shells would have hit a slightly different part of the ship and dealt a tiny bit of damage, because I only survived with 1053 HP. But I did survive. Which is great. But if you noticed, the Zao literally did not actually torpedo the Moskva for some unknown reason. But now it's a 2 against 1, and, well, the enemy is an... Oh, he's almost dead. But again, remember how we noticed that also I think I led way too much. Remember how I told that the enemy carrier striking, or our carrier striking the enemy carrier is kind of useless. Also, none of those shells penetrated the deck armor. Also, remember how I said that it's useless to... Okay, I'm gonna just fire AP. Remember how I said that striking that like that is useless? And it was, because the midway didn't actually die from that. And he still survived at the end, and it doesn't matter as a carrier if you have 1 HP or maximum HP, you can still do your thing. I mean, it matters slightly because you might be focused more on defense, but it's not that important. So, 484,000 credits. Well, it's PTS though, so it doesn't matter. Dreadnought, high caliber, 190,000 damage, 262 shell hits, only 8 planes killed, 15 fires and a bunch of citadels, 2 kills, and oh my god, the TheSneakySnake actually got 3,000 base experience. I guess the 62 planes he killed was part of it. Like, look at that. That's 62 planes. That's one more than the enemy air supremacy midway, or air superiority midway. He literally had the most plane kills, more than an air superiority focused midway. That's incredible. I guess the enemy carrier really liked bringing his planes over the TheSneakySnake. And again, link in the doobly-doo to his channel. Almost a winner, 58,500, 69,000 with AP, 63,000 with HE. So technically, if you add up, I think HE did more damage per shell on average than AP here, but 2.5 million potential damage taken and 100... Oh my god, I took 105,700 damage in a cruiser and I survived. This is why people call her the battleship Moskva. And this is the credits, 300,000 credits profit at tier 10 even without a Zulu flag, so the economy is pretty good nowadays, except carriers of course. And of course 587,000 Captain XP, but that's because it's PTS. So anyways, if you like this video then like it, if you disliked it then dislike it, and I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, Woguyen, and I hope I see you guys next time.